Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 10 preview between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Bengals.
The Bengals may be without Jermaine Gresham this week versus Baltimore, and while that's a big blow to their offense, it's not a detriment, and it'll force offensive coordinator Jay Gruden to be a little bit more creative in his play calling and how he utilizes his personnel. And in my opinion, that's what's been missing from this Bengals offensive attack. This week versus the Ravens, I look for the Bengals to go to more of a sprint package to combat the overall strength of the Ravens defense, i.e. trying to make it a horizontal game for the front seven, whether or not that's getting Gio Bernard more traditional carries or working Andrew Hawkins creatively in a short, quick passing game, both of which, in my opinion, could yield excellent returns versus Baltimore. Defensively, gone is Geno Atkins, arguably the best defensive tackle in the game, and while that hurts, coaches don't panic, they adjust and they look to the next guy to step up. In this case, it's Brandon Thompson, second-year player out of Clemson. I like them coming out of college, very productive player for the Tigers, and they're going to need him to be productive this week as the Bengals will see a lot of power, belly, and stretch type of runs versus the Baltimore Ravens. And on the back end, the key is staying physical with the Ravens wide receivers who have struggled at times this season getting off bump press. Now let's move over to the Ravens in this ball game, and for Baltimore, everyone is looking at the running backs as the reason why the ground game hasn't gotten it together this year, but I believe it's a combination of factors. The offensive line is not firing off the football. Teams don't respect the passing game and are dedicating extra defenders in the box, and finally, the Ravens have become predictable by formation. Now this week versus Cincy, without Geno Atkins and without Ray Maualuga in the front seven, it'll be wise to keep it downhill, but that also means guys like Gronkowski, Yan, and Shipley up front have to perform consistently in the trenches. Defensively, this is a very sound defense that still does an excellent job in applying pressure, and pressure doesn't have to result in the sacks. It's just the sheer disruption is enough to cause issues for an opposing offense. Now this week versus the Bengals, perimeter defense is going to be key, as trying to defend the Bengals is similar to trying to defend the Broncos, the Packers, and the Bills in the way they try to work the edges in the running game and in between both the hash and the numbers to the sideline in the passing game.
This week versus the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals will have to convert on third and medium. That's third between 4 and 6 yards. If they can do that, they can have a lot of success this week versus the Ravens. And I'm going to show you a great play that they can utilize on third and medium or in third and medium. We're going to get creative. We're going to shift this guy out of the backfield because we're going to give it a tight end look. We're going to keep it back with a tight end. It's just going to confuse the defense just a little bit. We're going to shift him to the slot. And you're going to see how off of play action, a lot of things can happen for the Bengals on offense. We're going to put this guy here on the curl. We're trying to draw this linebacker out because we're going to run the quick out. Put this guy in the bind. You have your built-in hot read right here, which is simple curl out combination. Front side, we're going to run play action. Why? Because we're going to have Andy Dalton turn his back to the defense, fake a handoff to the running back, and run him up right here, hooking in front of the linebacker, hopefully occupying his zone and forcing him to stay where he is, because we're going to send the tight end on an in route, and there should be a window right here or a window right there, because we're going to send this guy up and to the post, hopefully drawing the strong safety and cornerback away, and hopefully getting that free safety to go take care of this post going across the middle. So you see how a little bit of play action can give Andy Dalton 1, 2, 3 quick reads and 4, or the potential for the big play on third and medium. Now, like I said before, I think if they can convert third and medium, they can have a lot of success versus the Baltimore Ravens. When the Baltimore Ravens see the Cincinnati Bengals in a single back set, situationally, I believe they can go to a double eagle flex defense and be in great position to make a play. I'll show you how we have it set up here. Sorry, I forgot to draw the corner, but that's a double eagle flex defense. And what we're going to do here, you want to get both guys, the backer and that defensive end, first order of business to beat this tight end up at the line of scrimmage. You want to jam him, slow him down, and also stalemates if they want to run outside stretch or outside zone, because you have two guys at the point of attack versus this tight end, beating him up, jamming him at the line of scrimmage, slowing down the, forgot to put the free safety, slowing down the process of the play. But you also want to slow what he's going to do in the passing game. Getting a jam on a tight end with two guys is key. You're going to have your defensive tackle push in this gap here. You're asking your nose tackle to be a two-gapper. Where he sees the quarterback go or where he sees the back go, that's his job to shoot that gap and cause problems. That's why you have a Haloti Nada right there. You also have a spy right here. This backer is his job is to spy this run. If it's going this way, it's his responsibility. If this guy is going away, he shoots this gap here. Same with the outside defensive end. They're playing contain. Manned up on the corners right there. And on the front side, strong side, you're going to banjo cover. The cornerback and the safety will banjo cover, which means combo cover these two receivers. So if this guy breaks out this way, it's the corner's responsibility. If this guy breaks in, it's the safety's responsibility, but they're combo covering. And the reason why, and you have a defender here, linebacker also spying the back. If he goes strong side, it's his responsibility as well. And the reason why I like this, in this situation, you have the free safety that's in great position to be over top of the cluster route. So that's why I believe situationally the Ravens can go to a double eagle flex defense, get pressure on the tight end, be in position to stop the outside zone, and also combo cover the Twins receivers to the strong side. So again, situationally, using the double eagle flex defense could be beneficial for Baltimore this week versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
The X factor for the Bengals will be their defensive line. Like I've mentioned before, gone is Geno Atkins, so you better believe the Ravens will try to test that defensive front in the running game, so they have to be up to the challenge to make the Ravens one-dimensional. And for the Ravens, a lot of attention will be focused on the backfield as both Ray Rice and Bernard Pierce have to bring their A game this week, not only in running the football, but also in blitz pickup and in the passing game. So the backfield will play a huge role in whether or not the Ravens win this matchup versus Cincinnati. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ballgame. For the Bengals, you want to force the Ravens to defend the entire field. They have enough playmakers to make it happen. It's up to Jay Gruden to call the right plays and put the right personnel packages out there for them to be successful. And I would go with weak side pressure versus Joe Flacco. He's a quarterback that doesn't do a great job of feeling the pressure backside, so I would overload the weak side and try to get him on the ground. And the offensive line has to recognize and pick up the stunts. The Ravens do a great job in stunning up front. You have to be able to diagnose and adjust. Otherwise, you're going to find your quarterback on the ground more often than not. And for the Ravens in this game, taking advantage of the missing battery could lead to success. There's no Geno Atkins in the middle. There's no Ray Maluga in the middle as well. So they have to be able to run downhill if they want to knock off Cincinnati. And Joe Flacco has to make quick decisions with the football, quick and decisive decisions in order to be successful throwing. And Ladarius Webb has to win that individual matchup versus A.J. Green throughout the course of the game to force Andy Dalton to go to those other targets consistently. I like the Bengals in this ballgame. I think offensively, even without Jermaine Gresham, they'll be able to spread the field and force the Ravens to make plays one-on-one in space. And I think that's where they have the advantage. And on defense, they'll do a great job in slowing down the running game of the Ravens and forcing Joe Flacco to drop back more often than he wants to. So I like the Bengals to win this ballgame on the road versus Baltimore. And I want to give a huge shout out to Bengal fan forums and Raven fan forums for always showing football game plan support.